Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the top 13, plus one honorable mention, so 14, best rear-wheel drive sedans for less than $5,000. Just a combination of the best things a man could ask for. Sedans, so you got the space, dirt cheap, so you got the budget, and rear-wheel drive, so you got the fun. What more could you ask for? I mean, these are just like the perfect cars out there. And there's 13 of them today, ladies and gentlemen. Media of the day is Fight Club. It's a movie. If you've never watched it, I highly recommend you watch it. Most of you guys have probably already watched it before, but again, if you haven't watched it, absolutely go watch it. It's like, I don't know how you would describe it to somebody that hasn't watched it before. It's like a psychological movie, I guess is the best way of putting it, but nonetheless, it's really good. It gets you thinking. Really cool. Just really cool. Great movie. And I know I just broke the first rule, but cut me some slack. I had to recommend the movie. All right, it's a great movie. You don't got to be like, you broke the first rule of nightclub. I know. I get the reference, man. I'm sorry. Without further ado, let's go right into it though. But number 13 of the top 13 best rear-wheel drive sedans for less than $5,000. And coming in at the number 13 spot is going to be going to the Mazda RX-8. Allow me to explain, because for most people out there, at first glance, you look at an RX-8 and you think to yourself, that's a two-door coupe. No. Technically not. It technically has 4 doors. However, those 4 doors open the same way truck doors do. You have to open the front 2 doors, and then you open the back 2 doors, but they open backwards. And so I technically would consider that still a sedan, if you really think about it, but if you don't, fair enough. I just think it counts. Either way, the car comes with a 1.3 liter 2-rotor rotary engine making 212 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. It's not the most reliable car out there. Everybody kind of knows that. It's got a rotary motor, so obviously rotaries are a little bit tough to maintain, as at least. But once you do, you have a really fun sports car that does technically have the 4 doors that, in my opinion, counts as a sedan. Coming in at 12th place though, and this is the first like genuine 100%, you can't even deny that it is a sedan of the list, is going to be going to the Lexus GS300. Not because the GS300 is any worse than the other cars we have to talk about. I actually think it's one of the better cars on this list, but there's just a better car. If you plan on getting the GS300, there's just a better sedan that's on this list, and so there's no real reason to put this one any higher. The car comes with a 3-liter inline-6 making 225 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. By the way, should have mentioned that the RX-8 was in last place, not because I think it's the worst car on this list, but because it's the only car on this list that you can make an argument that it doesn't fit the parameters of this list. But yeah, the GS300 is an incredible car. It's just that it's only available as an automatic. It's a little bit heavier, and it has a little bit of a longer wheelbase than you would probably want. It's not a sports car. It's a luxury sedan. It was meant to be a luxury sedan, and that's how it's going to handle, and that's how it's going to feel when driving it, which isn't the best. Not a lot of people are going to like that much. So that's the reason why I'm not putting it any higher, but still a good choice. Coming in at the number 11 spot, barely missing out on the beautiful top 10 here, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be going to the BMW 328i E90. It is not a Mark Roden cheap car list without mentioning at least one BMW. And spoiler alert, but this is not the last time we are going to see BMW on today's list. And the E90 328i's are dirt cheap. There's hundreds of them on Facebook Marketplace you can find with just all kinds of different miles, all kinds of different conditions. It's kind of risky to go buy one of these right now because there's so many of them, so you never really know how they're going to be in terms of condition. But once you do, they come with a 3-liter inline-6 making 230 horsepower, and obviously it is rear-wheel drive. They do have all-wheel drive versions of these though. Those are the X-Drive models, so do not buy an X-Drive if you are looking for the rear-wheel drive one. If you do end up buying the X-Drive, you could always just rear-wheel drive swap it. That's always a possibility, but it's a little bit of work, and it's going to make the car a little bit more unreliable than if you were to just buy the rear-wheel drive one in the first place. And so just be careful when it comes to that stuff. Be careful when it comes to going into looking at them. And at the end of the day, they're definitely not the fastest, most reliable car on this list, and so that's the reason why it's going to get here number 11 spot, but it's still a very slept-on option. Everybody always just kind of thinks of the 335i E90s, and those are good cars, but these are too. And breaking its way into the wonderful top 10 is a car that Mark Roden never talks about, from a car that, well, honestly, the 328i E90 I don't really talk about too much, but the E90 platform in general is a car that I talk about all the time, to one that I never talk about. As a matter of fact, this might be the first time it's ever even appeared on my channel, the Mercedes E350 W211. These cars come with a 3.5 liter V6 making 268 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive, obviously. They do not come with a manual transmission. They are automatic only, just like the GS300 we talked about earlier, and just like the GS300 we talked about earlier, they're also a little heavy. These are heavier cars and with longer wheelbases. Just like literally everything that we said about the GS300 kind of applies to this car. they are just luxury sedans. They're not going to be the most fun car on this list when it comes to like sending them up twisties. And also, since they are Mercedes-Benz, the reliability there is also a little bit questionable. But the reason why I'm putting it higher than the GS300 is it is so much easier to find one of these in nice condition for under 5K than it is a GS300 at this point. All right, some people might get mad at me for the number 9 spot, but I think most people are going to understand because I went with any Subaru Impreza that you can find for less than $5,000 and then just rear wheel drive swap it. It is a lot easier than you would think to rear wheel drive swap it Impreza. It really is. Me, my buddy Eric, and my buddy Zach did it to his Eric's. We did it to Eric's Subaru in quite literally less than 2 hours. It was so easy, so simple, and anybody can do it. The car they all come with different motors and different horsepower numbers depending on which one you get, obviously, but the one that's the most common is going to be the 2.5 liter flat 4, making 165 horsepower, and it is obviously at stock all-wheel drive, but swapping it to rear-wheel drive is what we would do for today's list. And yeah, everything about it is pretty decent, and since nobody wants to do this, and since nobody really realizes you can do this just yet, they're dirt cheap. It's very easy to find 2.5 liter Imprezas all over the place, and you could very easily swap them to rear-wheel drive. Okay, unfortunately, again, just like the E350, just like the GS300, the number 8 spot is going to be going to the Dodge Charger SXT 6th generation, which is, like I said, just like those two last cars we just mentioned, not the most wanted model out there, and the reason is quite simple. They don't come with a V8. These cars come with a 3.5 liter V6, making 250 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. This is also a Hemi V6, or a Hemi Mopar V6 from the late 2000s, so it's not ideal in terms of reliability. It's not going to make a lot of power, but it's a fun rear wheel drive car with decent power from factory that looks pretty good and is a sedan for less than $5,000. But just like the E350 and the GS300, these cars are also not available with a manual transmission. Starting to notice a pattern here. Obviously, most of the cheap rear-wheel drive cars are cheap in rear-wheel drive because they're auto only, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, the number 7 spot is pretty much the exact same car as the last car we talked about, but I think it's just a slightly cooler, and so I put it one spot higher. The Chrysler 300 first generation, not the 300 SRTs or 300Cs, just the regular old base model 300s. These cars come with the exact same motor as the Dodge Charger SXT we just talked about, a 3.5 liter V6, making the exact same horsepower as that car as well, 250, and it is rear-wheel drive. Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same car as the Charger. It's slightly like bigger, but again, I feel like if you're buying a car like this, you don't really care too much about the weight. I don't think you're buying a Mopar car or a Chrysler product to go like fast into twisties. So I think you're probably caring a little bit more about those like space and the quality of the interior and stuff like that. And the Chrysler 300 just blows the Charger out of the water when it comes to that. It's the luxury version of the Charger. And so I put it one spot higher. I think it's just a little bit better for this list. But again, just like the Charger, this car is only available as an automatic. It's just really hard, obviously, because it's like, that's like the perfect car, right? Rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, and sedan. Like, that's just perfect. And so obviously a lot of people know that. And so it's kind of hard to find manuals under 5K. However, with that being said, there are still some coming in at the number 6 spot. I told you guys there was going to be another BMW. I told y'all that was not going to be the last time we saw a BMW on today's list, and here it is. I wasn't lying. The number 6 is going to the BMW 540i E39. A lot of the 5 Series, earlier BMWs at least, are getting dirt cheap at this point, and they're really good deals in my opinion. This one comes with a 4.4 liter V8 making 286 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. That is one of the highest horsepower numbers on this list. And yes, the E39 is definitely not a lightweight car. It's a little bit on the heavier side for sure, but it has a manual transmission and it's a V8 powered BMW that's naturally aspirated too. So 286 horsepower in a naturally aspirated V8 BMW. That's freaking good. With a manual transmission, it's a sedan. I've ridden in these before. They are comfy as hell. I rode in a 525i, but still, same thing. Comfortable as hell. Incredible cars just all around. The only slight problem you might run into is, again, the weight. They are a little bit on the heavier side. And before anybody's like, well, it's a V8, it's a German V8, it's got to be unreliable. No, apparently these V8s are actually extremely reliable. Speaking of reliable V8s, actually, let's stay there. Because coming in at the number 5 spot is... oh, I don't know. I was about to say it's even better than the 540i, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting because it's going to the Lexus LS400. And there's two, they're both, like the 540i E39 and the LS400 are both big land yacht vehicles that are heavy and more so just meant to be luxury sedans. This car comes with a 4-liter V8 making 270 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. And just like the BMW before, it's a very reliable V8, very good V8. And just like the BMW before, it's not really like the fastest car out there just because it is, again, a little bit heavier. In terms of reliability and in terms of daily drivability and comfort and stuff like that, the LS400 is easily better than the E39. But in terms of performance and fun, the E39 is clearly better because the LS400, say it with me now, doesn't have a manual transmission. So yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of iffy which one you would pick here. I think that the LS400 is just slightly better just due to its insane reliability. The 1UZ is indestructible, but you could definitely make an argument for the 540i. We talked about one German big body V8 rear wheel drive sedan, and we talked about one Japanese big body rear wheel drive V8 powered sedan. So now at the number 4 spot is going to one American rear-wheel drive big body sedan, the Ford Crown Victoria. It ain't a Mark Roden listen, I'm talking about the Crown Vic. It really is just an incredible option right now for less than $5,000. They come with a 4.6 liter V8 making 235 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Same V8 they were putting in the Mustangs at the time, the New Edges and the SN95s, whatever, which is a good motor to build some power on. They come with a manual transmission, although it is a little bit hard to find them in manuals, but you absolutely can do that. They are definitely, again, heavier and bigger vehicles with a larger wheelbase, and they're definitely, out of all the cars we've talked about so far, easily the most boring looking on this list for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue with me on that, but everything else about it is just absolutely incredible. Just like the LS400 and the E39, the V8's reliable, it's fun, it's a good car. But now coming in at 3rd place. Also, I just now realized in the beginning of the video, I think I said there was an honorable mention in today's video. Sorry about that. I'm pretty sure I said that, and I don't know why I said that because there's not honorable mention. So I'm sorry to blue ball you guys there, but there is no honorable mention today. 3rd place though is going to be going to another BMW. Yes, Mark Roden is such a BMW glazer. It's kind of a problem. The BMW 328i E36. These cars come with a 2.8 liter inline 6 making 190 horsepower, and they are rear wheel drive, obviously. Everybody pretty much wants the coupe E36s, and because of that, you can find the sedans for a lot cheaper. And once you do, you have yourself one of the best project cars in 2026. I almost said 2025 there. That's crazy. We're in 2026. But either way, they have been incredible project cars, incredible little fun grassroots motorsports, grassroots drifting, grassroots racing, whatever kinds of cars and platforms for that stuff for a couple of years now, and they're not going anywhere. Great cars. However, coming in at 2nd place, the problem with a lot of these cars is most of them are either only automatic, or the only ones you're going to be able to find for under 5K are going to be automatic. And so coming in at 2nd place is going to the Lexus IS300, because a lot of people know that you can find these things under 5K, but if you find an IS300 under 5K, it's going to be an auto one that you probably don't want. But again, most of the cars on this list are automatic already, and so I still think the IS300 squeezes those ones out. This car comes with a 3-liter inline 6 making 225 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. This is the car we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the GS300, how I said there was just one that was just better than it. That's this car. I don't think many people are going to argue with me on that, but yeah, the IS300 has the exact same motor, same platform pretty much as the GS300, just a much lighter chassis, shorter wheelbase, just overall sportier car. Now, this interior is definitely not as good as the GS300, so if that's what you're looking for, then the GS300 would be the better option. But since these cars were even offered with a manual, even though it's probably not going to be possible to find one under 5K in a manual, but even though they were offered with that in the first place, I'm gonna put them a lot higher than the GS. But coming in at 1st place, in my opinion, the best rear-wheel drive sedan that you can find for less than $5,000 in the big 2.6 is the Infiniti G37 sedans. It is mind-blowing how these things are under $5,000 and nobody cares. I think it's just because they are incredibly boring, and when you look at a G37 sedan, you kind of think of grandmas or takeover kids, and you don't want to be a part of either of those groups. But they are incredible options for less than $5,000. They come with a 3.7 liter V6 making 330 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. That's the highest horsepower number on this list. That motor is incredibly reliable, and not only that, but unlike the VQ35s that was in the G35s and 350Zs, this is a VQ37, and this motor was put in the G37s and the 370Zs. Here's a little fun fact. They can actually handle some power, unlike the VQ35s. That's the VQ35's biggest problem, is that they just couldn't handle power that well. Well, the VQ37 fix that for the most part. Now, it's not as good as a 2JZ or an LS or a B58, obviously, but these motors can handle some power and have a lot of fun. There's everything about the G37 sedan is incredible, except for the community behind them and who drives them. That's the only problem with them. But if you can get past that and you don't mind that, these are a steal for under $5,000 right now. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the 13 best rear-wheel drive sedans that you can find for less than $5,000. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Again, sorry for blue balling you guys with the honorable mention. I don't know why I thought there was an honorable mention in today's video. I thought there was, and then I like looked at my list and realized, oh boy, that's not true. that was a straight up fibberoonie. That was a straight up lie. So I do deeply apologize for that if anybody was like looking forward to it. But either way, 13 cars. Some of them are definitely little cheat codes, like the RX-8. You know, you could argue that that's not really a sedan. It's more so just a two-door vehicle with like extra hatches, I guess. And the Subarus, like, you can argue that those aren't rear-wheel drive from factory, so they shouldn't count. But again, I don't think anybody's going to really argue with that one, because so many people at this point are starting to realize that Subarus are very easy to swap to rear-wheel drive. And so if you don't mind doing that little bit of extra work, and I'm not going to sit here and act like anybody can do that, like you could just buy it as a high schooler, it's your first car ever, and then you swap it to rear-wheel drive immediately, like no problems. Like, no, you'll probably run into some issues. You'll probably have to spend more money than you're going to think about spending, and it might take a little bit longer than it took me and my friends to do it, but I don't really think it's as hard as people think it is, and it's absolutely possible to do so, and not that bad. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Keeping the outros pretty short recently, and I'm going to try to do that today as well. So, das vidanya, and have a nice night. It feels kind of weird. It feels like I have to tell you guys something, but I guess I don't. Bye.